Two leaders can act out the same leadership principle in two different ways. I read this then somewhere that leadership is an art more than a science. And I absolutely agree. Because that's why you can see two leaders, and let's even use country leaders, leaders of countries. You will find that the same leadership principle of negotiation, two of them will approach it two different ways. One might say hard negotiation is I don't back down at all. And the other can say hard negotiation is knowing when to back down. So it's still negotiation. It is still the principle of hard negotiation, but they approach it two different ways, and their results might be two different things because also they're dealing with two different sets of people. This is the thing about leadership. Sometimes we try to copy other people. We say, oh, I admire that leader so much. I'm going to be exactly like her. I'm going to be exactly like him. And then you lose your uniqueness. There is something unique about each and every one of us. Now, there are people who have natural skills, natural abilities that help them with their leadership skills. And you've heard me say a lot of times that men being default leaders does them no good because there are women who are also natural born leaders. So it's not that they are just, we can say they're born to lead, but it's just that they've got this art. It comes easier to them. And then it works the same thing with men. There are men that are natural leaders, it comes easy to them. But on the flip side of that, there are also men and women who are terrible leaders. It doesn't come, they don't even want to try. And then there are those who understand that they can be leaders. They may not have the natural ability to lead, but they can work on it. And then sometimes those people who may not who may have been considered with not even having the natural ability to lead can outlead even the people with natural ability to lead. So it's not just about the natural skills that you have, the natural ability that you have to lead, but it's also what you do with it, how you improve yourself, what what you're exposing yourself to. Okay, so we can expose ourselves to the best gossips in the world, but how does that gossip help you lead yourself better? How does it help you in your business? How does it help you make your life better? Mhm. We can engage and listen to different types of podcasts. There's so many of them out there, and I'm not saying have a boring life, and what some people consider boring is different from what others consider boring. So people consider listening to constant motivation, all of that it can be boring. And then you have to feed yourself with some other gossip and everything out there. You kind of need to feed, like you need to listen to different things. Don't just be a one trick pony. Don't just say, oh, no, no, I don't want to listen to all that stuff, all that crap. So I want to just imbibe this. But listen to all of them because it helps you understand people and their perspectives also. How will you, if you say that a person is always in the club, how will you understand them without knowing the kind of things that they discuss? You have to kind of listen as well. If you want to coach somebody who is into, if you want to coach somebody who wants to open a series of clubs, I'm just sticking with the club example, if you don't listen to what people who are engaged in that kind of business do, people who are engaged in that kind of lifestyle, I'm not saying go engage in that lifestyle, but if you don't listen to them, how are you going to successfully coach this person? You'll be coaching them in isolation, and you'll be saying, okay, these are the principles, do what you want with it. This is why leadership is an art. The principles of leadership, there's so many of them. If you look at the videos that I make, all of them are about different principles of leadership. It's about growth, it's about negotiation, it's about speaking, it's about obviously leading, but it's an art. You have to apply yourself to it. You have to bring yourself, we talk about voice. You have to put your voice into your leadership style. You have to put you into how you lead your children, your family, your business, in your job, everything that you do. So don't be rigid. Don't say this is how I do it, or no, rather, this is how they do it. So I'm going to do it how they do it, and I'm not going to apply myself into how I am doing it. And even if I say this is how I do it, you have to look at what's obtainable out there. Society has changed so much in the last 10 years, not talk about even in the last 5 years. Like post-COVID, society has changed a lot. So are you going to keep doing what they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? Are you going to move with the times? Now, your core foundation principles, your personal principles don't have to change. Okay, those actually ground you in your type of leadership, in your ability to lead. But what needs to go with the times is what's happening in the world economically. Look at this year alone, the things that have happened this year alone. Ugh, a lot has happened. So, where are you in that? How do you lead people through that? When you're talking about the price of petrol, to people who are struggling in their business and who are struggling to make ends meet, how does that translate? You cannot go talk about the price of petrol 10 years ago and keep telling them, oh, just price, put your price accordingly. And what? No, no, no. You have to go, what is the price of petrol today? Today, the things that you bought are driven by the price of petrol today. In fact, if the price of petrol was higher last month, the things you're buying now to sell are driven by the price of petrol last month, not even today, because those people who bought those things, who created those things, who manufactured them on a higher price of petrol. So they're not going to suddenly drop their prices because petrol price dropped today. So your ability to lead is an art. You have to apply yourself to it. You cannot just say this is a principle of leadership. I'm teaching it to you, and that's it. Go your way. Just like you can't just tell a child in today's day and age and say, keep quiet because I said so. Well, in many parts of the world you can still do that, but well, maybe lesser part of the world. In most part of the world you can't anymore. They ask you, why should I keep quiet? And you should encourage your kids to ask questions. You shouldn't stick with the age old thing of shh, don't talk back. Yes, obviously, don't talk back. I tell my children that. Don't talk back to me anyhow. But I let them have their opinions and then we work through it. And I explain to them, this is why I said X, Y, Z. And my daughter always says to me, why? But why? And then I have to explain myself. And there are times I just say to her, listen, I can explain this to you later. I'm not in the mood to do it now. Just do what I say you should do. And they've learned that if they want to ask me a why, they have to do what I've told them to do and then ask me why. Like, it's parenting. I'm not going to justify everything that I tell you to do before you do. Like, just go do it. And then we can have a conversation as to why. Okay. So it's all in the art of leadership. You have to be able to evolve. You have to be able to be malleable like clay, okay? So that you can serve your community and even yourself a lot better. Cheers and have a good one. Bye.